Hey everybody, Brendan Platt here from 40 Digital Media. Welcome to another tips and tricks video here on YouTube. And this is something, I guess, following up on one of the videos I did, oh goodness, probably about a year ago, which I will post a link. You can get to that video here, actually, to check it out. But this is kind of a follow-up to that about posting and responding to reviews. Particularly responding to reviews. And we talked about how important that is, particularly when you're a dental professional, responding to reviews, but really in any kind of business, or when you're providing a business or a service or selling a product, is responding to those reviews so your customers know that you're engaged, you're listening, you're hearing what they have to say. It's really important for those people to feel heard positively or negatively. So, that being said, responding to reviews is very easy if you're just selling a product or service. Obviously, when you are a medical professional, you're bound by the guides of HIPAA and privacy acts. And so how do you respond to those reviews without giving away too much information or protected health information in general? And you might say, well, they've already kind of identified themselves as patients. It doesn't matter. And the reality is, and this was in an article last week, maybe a couple weeks ago, from the ADA, which says that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they've identified themselves, that it doesn't matter if they've said exactly what procedure they had done. In your response to their review, you cannot in any way, shape, or form provide that information or even acknowledge that information. So it must be very general. So, my advice as far as responding to positive reviews, it's very simple. Just kind of have a rote, general response. You can be a little bit personal. You can change it up from person to person, but just make sure you're not mentioning things like, it was great to see you, or I'm glad that you're feeling well, or that we are happy we are able to help you with X insert service here. Those things, unfortunately, could put you at risk of violating HIPAA. So that's unfortunately, you have to be very very generic. But when it comes to negative reviews, obviously, there are a lot of other factors that come into that as well. You don't want to not respond and seem like you don't care. You don't want to turn it into a battle online, and you certainly don't want a HIPAA violation. So what's the best way to respond to that? And I've mentioned this a couple times, I think, in previous videos, and the best way is obviously to get it offline and things of that nature. Try to be as generic as possible, never admit fault, etc. But still, be apologetic and try to come to a common ground with the person who's disgruntled. And when it comes to the medical side of things, the one thing I found today, actually, I came across this today, is from the Orth Attorney, at the Orth Attorney on Instagram. His name is Trey Lawrence. He is the General Counsel for the American Association of Orthodontists. And he provides some really good insight for dental practices from a legal perspective online. Obviously, anything legal, contact your own counsel, but it kind of gives some general guidelines. So check him out. Follow him if you have a chance on Instagram, at the Orth Attorney, and I will I'll put his link down in the bio. I get nothing from him for recommending, but I just thought it was really good information, and I wanted to make sure I cite his page and where I got this. And the post was about taking a deeper dive into how to respond to negative reviews, because I think that's something that is so important, but it's something that a lot of times both as marketers and as dental professionals we struggle with. What's the best way to do it? How do you take it offline? How do you be apologetic without admitting fault, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so when we look at this, the response that he gives on this, and I think it's a really good one, is that anytime you have a negative review or a negative comment, respond with something to the tune of, "It appears as there has been a misunderstanding. Please contact our office and set up a time to discuss." So what does this do? And he mentions this on his post. Again, please check it out if you haven't already. But I really wanted to highlight this post from him because I really liked it this morning. I told him as much, and I really hope that I want to spread the word about these kind of things because I think they're important. What the first sentence does: "It appears there's been a misunderstanding." You're responding. Obviously, the person's not satisfied, so you're acknowledging that without acknowledging too much. You're not admitting any liability, anything like that. So and really you're expressing that you want to, you want to try to fix this problem. It does not include the word sorry, notice, and this is something he mentions. He makes a point to mention that obviously if litigation were to follow, etc., that can be extrapolated in a lot of different, the word sorry or we apologize can be extrapolated in a lot of different ways. So it appears there's a misunderstanding, gives that compassion without really tying you into any liability. The next sentence: "Please contact our office to set up a time to discuss." Again, like I've been stressing over and over and over again, it takes it offline. You're not having a knockdown drag out on social media. That's certainly not what you want to do. Again, it reflects that there's been a dissatisfaction. The person is not happy with something that happened, like whatever that happens to be. But it also says that you're willing to resolve that. You're willing to talk about it. How can we help you? Things like that without admitting that liability or fault. What happens then if they come back with another nasty comment? Just keep repeating, "Please call our office to discuss. Please call our office to discuss." It keeps you on the high ground. It keeps you wanting to resolve the situation and resolve the situation online. I see a lot of times long diatribes about this is what happened and we don't have any record and this and that and that other thing. And that's very common for that to occur. As a consumer, it's probably going to be more of a bad look for the company in question than it is necessarily for the person making the complaint, trolling or not. So offer to get it offline, offer to discuss it, have them call the office. That's the best thing that you can possibly do in that public setting. Again, and Mr. Lawrence highlights this, as I said earlier. You cannot disclose any PHI, even if they disclose it themselves. So what this comment does, even from a negative standpoint, it allows you to contact the person, talk to the person, etc., but you're not actually disclosing that there is any kind of treatment even performed because you're not specifying any sort of PHI, or protected health information within that. So again, really important to respond to any reviews, positive or negative. This should be hopefully helpful in responding to negative reviews, is using something along those lines, but just keep those points in mind, that you want to be compassionate, but you can't provide any PHI, you can't disclose any PHI, so it's really important to watch out for that. Get it offline, offer to discuss it, use words like misunderstanding, avoid really apologizing, like anything like that would possibly be construed as any admission of liability, and hopefully that will help resolve the situation in an amicable manner for both sides. Check out the Orth Attorney, really good stuff at the Orth Attorney on Instagram. Again, his name is Trey Lawrence, if you want to look him up. Really good stuff, and I appreciate his candor and kindness in our my response to him earlier, and allowing me to share this on my story at 40 Digital Media on Instagram, so you can check me out there as well if you want a way to get to his page. It should be available for about the next 12 hours or so. But wanted to put this out there. Really think it's important stuff. Hopefully it helps you out and allows you to be more efficient in your review responses. So take care, everybody. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will talk to you next time.